Welcome to the Agents of the Unexplained podcast. From a haunted abandoned asylum to Sasquatch lurking in the dark woods and watching you, and all things unexplained, here are the stories from outside our realm. With your host, Bill Rigby.
Good evening, everyone. We got this beautiful young lady coming on, Shelly Stetser. She is from South Jersey. She has cryptids, paranormal, possibly aliens, all in her area. It's just a lot of stuff going on. She's going to be here to discuss what's happening, and hopefully some of our people out there can help decipher some of it. But before I go too far into this, let me bring her in. Hi, Shelly.
Hi, how are you?
Oh, we're doing great. How are you doing tonight?
Hanging in there. Hanging in there.
So
nobody's tapping at the windows, so we're good. We're good to go.
If they are, turn the camera to. We want to see.
Oh, I will. Trust me, I will.
But
the more witnesses, the better.
Yes. So, what's Steve say about all this? Is it driving him crazy?
Well, it's funny. When I was the first one that saw Bigfoot, so it took me back to that moment when this happened. When I first told him about that, he said, "Oh, it was probably a play on light. Oh, it was probably," and then he had his own encounter. It was that feeling like now I have to tell him this. He's going to really think he's going to commit me. My husband's going to take me right and commit me. So, but then he ended up, he had seen certain things. He had saw the lights. He saw how they followed. But then he went under attack also. So.
Wow.
Yeah, it hasn't been it wasn't a good scenario, that's for sure.
I messaged Steve back and forth a couple different times, but he never really got into what was happening there.
Yeah. Well, it's hard to talk about. People are going to look at you like you're absolutely lost your mind.
They know I have.
Yeah.
They know I have.
Yeah.
But no, with all honesty, start explaining what's going on.
So, for those of you that don't know, we've been Bigfoot Sasquatch researchers for years. We had what we call a habituation, non-fed habituation. And when this all started, I thought it was, I say lights now, but at the time, we thought it was eye glow. We thought we had two juveniles. And the eye glow went from white, and one his eyes would glow red on occasion, the alpha male. But then when the two juveniles would be, I would say teenager age now, when the eyes turned amber in color and they got really big, my theory was, they're not juveniles anymore. Now they're becoming, teenager to adult. Maybe their eyes changed then. Who knows? Nobody really knows. Right. So we noticed that their behavior started to change. They seemed more focused on me. Everybody knows if you're a Bigfooter that, sometimes they're silent, you get nothing. Sometimes they're vocal. It's their terms. These wanted to vocalize constantly. They were knocking, they were whooping, they were carrying on. We had been camping. We got back and I was still in the truck, and Steve had got out to unload, and he come over and he said, your buddies here, they're killing themselves to try to see you. And I said, where are they? Well, they literally were just up behind a shed, which is kind of out in the open. For anybody who Bigfoot knows, they don't want to come out in the open. They're not doing it. So I thought that was a little odd. Like, they're going to be seen. So they started whooping, whistling, whatever, and I came in the house. The following night, I was out because they were whooping and carrying on. I said, let me go out and just say hello. So I go out to the edge of my woods, And I said, hi, guys. How are you tonight? Making a lot of noise out here. And with that, my son had called and I piece when I'm on the phone. So I'm on the phone and I'm walking the length of my backyard, which we have a big backyard. So I'm walking the length. They're walking with me. They're literally on the edge of our woods. And they're at 4 feet from me. To give you a better description, literally 4 feet from me. Just
now
in the
that
wood
freaks me out because my one and only sighting, Shelly, was 15 feet away, and I caught him out of the corner of my eye and turned and looked because I caught movement out of the corner of my eye. I turned and looked, and there it was. It's like,
yeah,
the startleization of it.
Yeah. So I thought,
and
wow,
that scared the heaven hell of me.
Yeah. I thought, wow, these two are really brave. So in my mind, I thought, well, maybe because they were born and raised here, they're braver, which then scared me because I thought, well, that's putting them in danger. And that's the last thing I would ever want. So I'm walking back and forth. They're following me. And as I'm talking to my son, I thought, just for my own curiosity, I hid behind a bunch of stuff we have in the backyard just to see if they can't see me, if they can't have their eyes on me, will they come out? Because if they do, that's a problem. So I kind of ducked down and I'm still talking to my son while I see the eye glow, because that's all I can see now is these. Best describe it, and I posted pictures. You've seen it on my page. The movie, the Pixar movie WALL-E, where he has the two eyes. They were like eyes like that. They were huge. Like I've never seen in all my years of researching, I've never seen eyes like this. So that should have been my first clue. Anyway, they went up in the air. So in my head, I'm thinking, what tree? I figured they went up a tree. And then I'm like, well, wait a minute. There's no trees in that specific area. They're all like the skinny little trees that would sustain their weight. So I got up and walked to the beginning of our trail. And when I did, well, both of them were coming down, but the one I could see clearly was coming down. There was no body. It was just lights. It was just this eye glow, or what I thought was eye glow. As it came down, 30, 40 feet from the air, as it was coming down, it shape shifted. By the time it hit ground, literally maybe 2.5 feet in front of me, it had the body of a Sasquatch.
Wow. Okay.
It's that same feeling when you see one for the first time. Brain disconnect, offline. My heart, I think, came out of my chest. I just couldn't gather a thought. And I watched them right in front of me just cross the trail into like the next section, the section of woods to the left. I came in house and I told Steve, for those of you who don't know, it's my husband. And he's looking at me like I'm crazy. He's like, no. I said, I'm telling you, I watched this thing shapeshift. I watched it. So with that, I came in and I looked out my kitchen window. When I looked out my kitchen window, the two were again right here at our shed. What's that, like 30 feet, Steve, from the window to the shed? 30, 40 feet?
About 40.
Yeah, about 40 feet from my kitchen window to our shed. And there they are. And I'm thinking, that's ballsy. So I said to him, I'm telling you now, because there's no body. They're lights. They're just glowing lights. He just kind of, I think you need to get some sleep. Following night, went to work, did whatever, came home. I'm at the kitchen window, I'm getting dinner ready, washing dishes. And I look out. It's those two and many other lights. There was white, there was blue, there was pink, there was green, there was every light in the rainbow. There was quite a few red lights. There was, I want to say 3 or 4 of them with red glowing eyes, lights, whatever you want to call it. And I'm just, I couldn't believe it. Now the whole sky is filled with like twinkly lights. You know, like you would think, oh, is that a satellite? Is it a star? Just like almost like glitter. And as they were moving, not like an airplane, not like a satellite, they would dive down towards the ground in my yard, and they'd go back up. And now they're kind of going over where the others are. Well, then some started landing. When they landed, they had some had a humanoid shape. So I run out because at this point now, everybody thinks I'm crazy. Everybody's talking crap. So I don't know what possessed me, but I went out my basement door and I stood at the basement door and I videotaped the whole thing. They landed in my yard. They came in as lights or like these little twinklies. By the time, some of them I could see like faces or things while I posted those pictures. You could see an image like as if you were looking at like a ghosty paranormal face.
Right.
Would come in and they would shift into with a body and they would land. As that happened, there was ones that I call them the camo people because I don't know how else to describe it. When they shift into manifest, well, some of them actually came in, they didn't even manifest. They came in with lights attached. They look like they were wearing camo. And in my head, I'm thinking, is this like a government thing? Is this like jokes on you? What the hell is going on? I realized it wasn't camo. It's like a green, whatever it is, from wherever they're from, like a green goo with, I think, brown hair. I think, like just sections of it. And then it looks like bandages. But they come in with their face bandaged, especially their mouths. They come in with their face bandaged, and some of them, their whole head is bandaged. And then they have this light, that particular group, the camo people. And I know this sounds absolutely nuts. I swear there's going to be a knock at the door and they're going to take me away. With apparatuses, either stuck here or like a helmet on their heads, but it's just lights, either one solid like shop light looking light or two lights. And then some of them, their feet were wrapped, their hands were wrapped. The shapeshifter that turned into Sasquatch, that one, and I posted a picture of this also. I caught him shape-shifting again, and as he shifted, only one leg came down with a foot. And the one thing that struck me, that hit me the most when I went back and I reviewed the pictures that I took, that same foot I've casted as a Bigfoot researcher. And the only reason I know it's the same foot, because if you listen in all my past videos, I talk about Mama, feeling sorry for Mama with her broken toes. Because we've casted in the same research area 3. It's a family of 3. What we assumed was a mother, a father, and probably a juvenile. The mother, because her foot's smaller than the father, her toes are broke. Her big toe goes way off, and her little toe is kind of dropped down to the side of her foot and sticks kind of straight out to the side. So I'm like, man, she's really had her toes broken. And it's always that foot that we find, always that print. When this thing did that and I looked at its toes, I was like, oh my God, this is what we thought was a Sasquatch. We've casted this thing's footprints. Anyway, so then I call her the priestess lady. So as I'm videotaping, I noticed like the camo, and they're just standing there. Like there was one guy just standing there, and I'm just looking at him like, what are you? Why are you standing in my yard? There was another one, and then there's just this thing. I don't even know how to describe it. It was a thing, and it was distorted. It kind of reminded me of the shape of SpongeBob SquarePants.
Okay.
And but it was white. It was like that bandage material, like the humanoid things come in wearing, which kind of also looks like, at first I thought it was feathers. Then I was like, it kind of looks like ripped up paper mache. So what it really is, I don't know. I'm just telling you, this is what it looks like. It's all white with this big mouth, and it started spewing all this black smoke out of its mouth. It covered my car. It covered the back of Steve's truck. At one point, it covered the front of my camera. When I went back and reviewed the video, you see it creeping up behind me. Then and there, I knew this isn't good. This is demonic. This is not anything. This isn't aliens that are here to say hi. This is bad. Yep. With that, something darker in the sky came in. Darker than dark. the best way I can describe it is a gigantic bat. Gigantic. Like it was a beast, a thing, whatever. But it came in, and when it got close, like kind of hovered, I realized that there was a woman that rode in on it. And as she levitated and started to spin in the air, the beast, as she twirled, it formed into like her dress, like a long black gown. But her too, she had bandages on her arm, on her hands, and one on her forehead. Sorry. She was scary.
Yeah.
She looked at me and just grinned. And she walked over to the others. And it was almost like they were having this family reunion. Like they were like, the feeling was they were happy to see her. Like she was something. Like she was something or someone they worshipped. And with that, she put her hands up to the sky. And these things started forming like a crisscross formation with their bodies. Some with their hands in the sky, some like on their hands with their leg. I have pictures of that. And she levitated with her hands to the sky. And I don't know what she said, what she did, but more came in. They were just coming in from the sky and landing with the lights. I mean, some landed by my car, in front of his truck, near the camper, but all in that same vicinity. Like they were having a reunion. And that was it for me. I ran in and shut the door and I yelled for everybody. But I went to the kitchen window and I proceeded to film them the best that I could. I realized that the ones that kept, some just kind of turned into an entity without a light. Some, their light stayed on. The ones where the light stayed on, their light, I realized when I zoomed in, inside the light, the ones that had like a shop light, was playing almost like a TV, but it was images.
Right.
It was just flashing images. So I took pictures of a lot of the images, and it was almost like they were showing me a scrapbook or like a family album. Like if you were, it went from like babies to, so in that moment, again, I almost got tricked. The impression I almost was getting was like they were in trouble and they needed to be here, that they had nowhere else to go. But then when I watched this woman, I knew that none of this was good. This was all trickery and she was evil. They were demonic. There's no doubt in my mind. She turned and looked. She knew I was filming them. She turned and looked. She grinned at me, levitated, went up on the top of our garage, laid across it like she was posing. And like literally like she was posing, like, you want to see something? I'll show you something. And with that I was done. I was done. The following night, again, they came. I saw the lights flying around, and basically they were all over, like around the house. But the lights that were down, peering through the windows, they were everywhere. They were just everywhere. So I said to Steve, look at this. So I went outside and to walk the dogs. And when I did, they were right behind me. And that was it. I didn't come out of this house. I didn't move for 2 weeks. I couldn't even go near a window. I had to hide in my basement.
What's Steve have to say about all this?
At first, I don't even know how to describe what you thought. I think he half thought I was crazy. It's just hard for anyone to believe. He saw the lights. I mean, he saw the lights. He knew that was happening. When they started coming to the windows and tapping on the windows. But then he was physically attacked. And then he was attacked in a dream state. And that was it. He kind of was like, I don't care what we need to do, but we need to do it. What do I got to do? And I said, well, we have to stand together. And then my son was physically attacked. You want to talk about zapping? Want to talk about getting zapped? I didn't need to know that they were anywhere near my windows. I would come upstairs from the basement, which, by the way, my bedroom, and we have a living room down there, and my office is down there. Thank God, because I don't know how else I'd work. But as soon as I came upstairs on this level, I could feel it. My vision for a week and a half, I couldn't see. My vision was this. My vision would vibrate. Migraines. I felt like I was being electrocuted. I felt like I was being poked, like fingers between my rib cage. Like something was sitting on my chest. I felt my feet being crushed at one point. My feet were so swollen, I couldn't wear shoes for 4 days. They were purple and swollen. It was bad. So I thought, who do I contact? Nobody's going to believe this, even with the video and even with the pictures. They're going to think I'm crazy. So I started researching, and luckily I did find a church within a church, because this isn't anything they're going to preach about on a Sunday. The churches are aware of it. Now, this isn't a Catholic church. It's a different denomination. They're aware of it. They said this started in 2011. They started getting reports of it. And it has ramped up in the last 4 months that they've been handling cases like this. So they told me where to find the literature, what to read, how to pray, how to cast, how to deliver. And then by the grace of God, I was led to another woman out in Washington who has been such a blessing to me. She has helped me tremendously. Understand, because ever since I was a kid, I always had gifts. Nothing like now. Prior to this, I want to say 2-3 weeks prior to this all happening, I woke up one day and could see. I woke up and was more clairvoyant than ever. Like, I could just see, to the point where I was really having issues with it. Like, you just don't wake up one day. Well, then when this happened, I was so scared that this was sent to me by something evil. And this is why I'm seeing it. Thank God that's not the case. I also was praying.
It does make you wonder, though. It really does.
It did. I thought, if this is something from Satan or some other evil leader entity from somewhere out in the universe, I don't want it. So, but now the woman that I met, she's prayed with me. She's taught me how to pray. She said, honey, you've had this gift since you was a little girl. This is just one of the gifts that you didn't use all the time. She said, but I'm seeing more of this also. She said, where, these God-given gifts, God's kind of waking up in people, and it's for a reason. She goes, and ta-da, you just found out what it was. But then I asked for discernment when here all along I had it. I just didn't know it. But anyway, it's been rough. I've had to do the property. And of course, then I'm worried. I worry about my neighbors. The little girl next door to me, she's disabled. The poor thing. She can't talk. She can't hear. She can't see. She's basically a mute. And I've seen them all over their house. And so
that's messed up there. You got to worry about them.
So I've been using my God-given abilities to help and banish the best I can and deliver the best I can. And even though it's as embarrassing, and I know people think I'm nuts, it took me a couple weeks, but I'm like, Lord, if you gave me this gift, I can't sit back and watch this happen. When I was talking to the girl that helped me, I said, why? She said, well, I think with you, she said, it's because this is happening and we're going to need people to help that understand it and can guide others. She goes, but I left myself wide open being a researcher by the dumb things that I say. Like, you can stay here. I love you. I'll keep you safe. Not realizing what exactly I was given permission to.
Exactly.
So I pretty much gave permission to the devil, whatever evil is here. I swung the door open and said, "Bring your sleeping bag."
Yeah,
That's,
you
you know,
did.
I did. And, you know, that's my fault. But after all these years, it never occurred to me that what I'm looking at isn't what I'm looking at. So
Right.
I know now, you know, I mean, this thing even left physical evidence. That's another thing. One of the prints had hair in it.
Okay,
So
here's the thing. This demonic entity, knowing how much you believed in Bigfoot,
you knew.
that
Yep.
so it wasn't actually Bigfoot you were seeing
Right.
at all.
Right. That's correct.
Okay.
So the person that I've been talking to, she said, she too has recently helped quite a few people that are in this exact situation. And she said, same thing. It doesn't matter. She said, whether you're a Bigfooter, if your cryptid is Mothman or a Loch Ness monster, whatever passion we have, whatever we enjoy the most, obviously, you know, demons are crafty. You know, there's the law that God has between the devil and, you know, there's certain things they can't do without our permission.
Right.
He never said they couldn't trick us into it, though.
That's
so
right. That's right.
That's, if I can get one message, I don't care if anybody out there thinks I'm completely certifiably crazy. Just watch your words. That's all I ask. Protect yourself, whatever you believe in, whether it's the armor of God, whether it's surround yourself with the white light of the Holy Spirit. Protect yourself and watch what you say.
My friend Angel, Ghost Chick Angel, says the same thing, Shelly.
Yep.
You
Yep.
got to protect yourself.
Yep.
And she, when she goes out on investigations, which I was out on one with her, and she really impressed me. She did help these people with the ghosts that were there.
Yeah.
You got to be careful what you do.
Yeah.
And how you say it.
Yep.
Even with just passive ghosts, you still got it.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know, I do believe in you.
Yeah.
What you're saying, 100%.
Yep. Like I said, they've been, you know, Bigfoot, Sasquatch, whatever you choose to call it, it's been here for years. And like I said, the behavior changed. That's the one thing that makes me feel better, that we noticed a change in behavior.
Right.
So, I mean, if it was like this out of the gate, but the fact that the behavior changed, the eyes changed, you know, in all my investigations, this was different. And I should have known.
Do you think they chased the Bigfoot away?
I don't, honestly, I for weeks, I wouldn't go outside. So if there are, they're probably wondering what happened to her. Now, I haven't heard anything. Have you? Other than those things.
I've still heard whoops.
Now, Steve's heard whoops.
Our whistle. Like,
I've heard that too. I mean, I'm still hearing the whoops and the whistles, but I can't. That's one thing I have to work on. Now, I asked my friend who's a medium and, you know, has helped. And she believes that these are what they are. She said there's a separate flesh and blood animal that God created, put on this earth, that is a Bigfoot and a Sasquatch, whatever you choose to call it. So I said that's all I needed to know, because I was even talking to Mary Fabian, and I said, Mary, where do I go from here? Like, I'm crushed, I'm heartbroken. So, I've come to that. But they really went out of their way, because, like I said, I hid. I wouldn't come up here. And they pulled out all the stops. I said, man, I'll tell you what, this would be a researcher's dream if I didn't know what they were. They samurai chatter at the top of their lungs. They Ohio howled. Now, we get howls in New Jersey, but nothing like you hear out in Ohio.
But how close is your nearest neighbor?
Not that far, really. Most of my ground's behind me. How far do you think the neighbor is, Steve? I'm not good judging distance.
They're 60 yards.
60. No, you mean feet or yards? 60 yards, he says.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's
So,
that's
and then
that-
we have acres behind us.
so that's where the handicapped lady lives.
Yes.
About 60
Yes.
yards. Okay.
Yep. Yep.
Is there more neighbors still close?
Um,
No, they're going.
no, yeah, because they demolished the one house. No, there's a store down the road, and that's what I
Okay.
said. For them to come
I'm
out
trying
like
to pick.
this,
Yeah, that's why I'm trying to picture what
Mhm.
the surroundings there.
yeah,
For
yeah,
them to come out like that, so you're
Mhm.
you're basically secluded, other than the handicapped woman, and they
right.
know that.
There's them and then a store, and that's what I said. For them to come out, like, look, in the backyard where the woods are, and there's acres of land, that's one thing.
Mhm.
But for them to come up into the yard, like up near the road where there's lights and a highway.
That house was vacant for years.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and the house next door to me, that was vacant for years. They moved there, I want to say in the past 2 years, maybe they moved in.
Yeah,
But yeah, for them to come out, that's not Bigfoot behavior. To come
Mm-mm.
just strolling on out, no way. No way. I knew
that-
that. I'm like, something's not right.
and when you first started the story, I went, "Is she batshit crazy?"
Right.
Because they don't do
Right.
that.
Well,
Yeah,
that's the one thing him and I said. I said, what
Yeah.
is going on with that? Nobody gets vocals every day. Nobody, they're not carrying on and fussing like this. Not ever. Not in all the years I've done it or all the years they've been here. Not ever. And these
Right.
carried on. They wanted my attention. They wanted me to come out. I said,
you
Mm-mm.
invited them, so they're saying she's part of us.
Yeah. Yep. Well, they know they're not invited now. Their invitations and permissions have been rebuked. So now I took a while, but no more coming to the windows, no more tapping at the windows. We don't see them like we did.
Okay.
They're still out there flying around because every once in a while I'm like, is that a star? Is that one of the lights? So
Makes you
they're
wonder.
here. I don't know what
Yeah.
they are. I don't know where they came from. I know the different groups that I talked to told me that they're aliens, demonic aliens. A lot of discussion about Anunnaki or Anunnaki. How do you pronounce that?
Anuki.
Yeah. There's been a lot of
Anunnaki, yeah.
discussion about that and what they call the shining ones. You know,
Right.
as prophecy says. The sons of the shining ones. That's what it was. So I don't know. Nobody really knows. I mean, there's theories just like everything else. All I know is I wanted them gone.
I don't know about demonic aliens.
Yeah.
Demonic demons, yes. Aliens, I don't know. I can't say one way or the other, Shelly. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
How do we know they're demonic? Maybe that's just their total nature. You know, because we don't know about aliens.
Well, and I think I posted it in Habit. I'm not sure, but the one they decided to mock Jesus on the cross. I mean, yeah, they mocked Jesus Christ on the cross. So I had that in the video, and yeah,
That's probably
I mean, just
a demon
blowing.
itself, not alien, demon.
Yeah, well, yeah,
Yeah.
whatever they are, they're demonic. Wherever they came
Yeah.
from is one thing, but they're
Right.
definitely demonic, and that's how they're being treated. So
And that's the way they need to be treated.
Yeah. It's disturbing. The images that are on my that's another thing. That's another weird thing. I was going through videos on my phone, and the weekend that we had been camping, we were researching in another location. There were images, pictures on my phone. Yet I'm in the video coming back from a long hike with Steve with my phone in my hand. But yet these images in this video is on my phone. So I said to the groups that are helping me, I said, how is that possible? And they said, you have to realize everything is energy. You think that they're not
Yep.
far advanced, that they can't put the impressions on your phone that they want you to see. But disgusting and disturbing. There's no other way to put it. They use whatever mentally they know would get to you, and
Right.
they've done it and they've shown it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
it's been, I mean, poor Steve. They convinced him that, I gotta watch what I say too loud. They convinced him that our youngest died and that he had been at the funeral all day. When he woke up hysterical. It took 20 minutes to convince him it didn't happen. He literally felt like we had been there all day and it was the next day. And he was just waking up to the horror. And he was just 20 minutes it took. I said, text your kids, text them. I promise you. And yeah. He's like, that's it. What do I need to do? I said, well, now that you're on board, this is what we need to do.
Yep.
So
that would freak me out too. Oh, where'd she go? Shelly, what happened? You disappeared. Is she gonna come back? We'll give it a few minutes and see. Oh, she's coming back.
I don't know what happened there.
You just jumped right out.
I know. Yeah. They're talking about us again.
Yeah.
But no.
I'm like, okay, did they boot her?
Yeah, that was weird, right? But
Yeah.
no, I just thought, I don't care how crazy it is. I'm going to put it out there because if anybody needs help, somebody to talk to, somebody who's been through it,
Yeah.
I'm here and I can kind of guide you to the right people to talk to.
That's good. And don't worry, I got you on speed dial for that.
Yeah. This has been, this has just been insanity.
Yeah, it really is. And when you're messing with something demonic, it is insanity.
Mm-hmm.
And it just
Absolutely.
And to wrap your mind around something like that is so hard.
It is, and it's happening to me, and I still can't wrap my head around it.
Yeah.
Now, we had a young couple had moved in back behind one of the. It's a dead end behind me, and it's like I said, it's acres of land back there. It was one lone house, and a young couple bought it. They weren't there 6 months. They rolled out, left everything. And I said to him, I wonder why. Well, I thought maybe the Bigfoots came and bothered her and scared her.
Right.
Now I can't help but wonder. Now I wonder if that poor girl wasn't tormented, and that's why she took her kid and her husband and left.
I wonder if that's
Things
where
that make you go,
the demons. Yeah, I wonder if the demons are hanging out down there.
Yeah. Yep.
No.
And then there was all these wind chimes, because I've had wind chimes advised to me to put wind chimes up. I never do that. But I said to Steve, it kind of made me laugh because all of a sudden there was all these wind chimes. So I said to him, I'm like, oh, how many wind chimes does she have? That's all you would hear. So now I can't help but wonder if that poor girl wasn't being terrorized.
Well, what they got to do with wind chimes? It keeps the demon away?
Yeah, I guess it helps. I don't really know the purpose.
No wonder my wife loves the wind chimes.
But I was advised to put wind chimes up, that they do help. I don't know if it's, I know with,
I think it has to do with the vibration.
I know, Tibetan.
Right, yeah.
And, Native American. I know vibration breaks up negative energy. So I think it's about the vibration.
Right.
Of the sound. I know like in Tibet, they use bells to break up and while they're in prayer to break up, the bad energy or heavy energy.
My wife loves her wind chimes. I got a bunch on the front porch and I was on a job here. It was in between my birthday and hers. Mine was January 23rd. Hers is the 30th. I was on a job. This lady it's 3 foot by 3 foot with 9 bells on it hanging.
Wow.
And I go, man, that's pretty neat. She goes, you want to buy it? I said, how much? She told me. I says, sold $50.
Really?
Yeah. It's hanging
That's
on
what
my
we need.
porch. When
That's what we need one about that size.
it's hanging on our porch, and when the wind
Nice.
does blow a little harder, you can hear those bells, and they're different
Yeah.
tones.
Oh,
It's sweet.
wow. Oh,
It's
that's
sweet.
nice. Good.
Yeah.
Good. That's what I said to him. We got to put the wind chimes out. Got to
Yep.
get the wind chimes up. My neighbors,
Okay.
they'll probably hate me, but that's all right.
All right. We're going to do a quick commercial break. I'm going to
Gotcha.
hang in there, Shelly.
I'll be here.
All right. It's right there on the screen in front of you. It's the Penn, Ohio Paranormal Conference coming March 25th in Hermitage, Pennsylvania at the Hickory VFW. We got 6 great speakers: Mike Fallman, Dan Hagman, Ed Kellerman, Jamie and Jenny King, James Krug. We even got Brian and Terry Seach. And our one and only MC, the doofus of the jungle. Shelly's laughing. That's his new nickname, Mike Hartman. He
I
went
already knew
swinging
you were
from the.
talking about.
You knew, huh? My brother from another mother and definitely a different father, Mike Hartman, will be the MC.
I didn't want to say anything, but his video the other day with his hat, I would really think he'd kill it.
Mike, all right, I got to say this about him. He's a very intelligent man when it comes to Bigfooting and hunting and the whole 9 yards. But he is so comical. And,
yes.
And he will help anybody. He will help anybody with this stuff.
Yeah,
but
he cracks me up.
He's still the doofus of the jungle.
Doofus of the jungle. Oh, Mike's funny.
Yes, he is. He's good, and he's always dogging me out, though.
Oh,
always.
I know. Oh, I hear him. I hear him.
He's great. And one more real quick commercial. Theta Wave Blue Media. Contact Norm. ThetaWaveBlueMedia.com. For all your media, financial, your podcast, anything. He helps with it all. That's right. There's my commercials.
There you go.
But seriously, my paranormal conference coming up, I got almost 30 vendors. I got these speakers. It really blew up big time. I got people, actually, a couple coming from New Jersey that bought pre-sale tickets. New York, Canada, of course, Ohio, PA, West Virginia, North Carolina, Tennessee. I got people coming up to this from all these areas. It just totally amazed me. It totally blew up that big.
Nice. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's him and I were thinking about doing that and getting out there. I might have to change my narrative a little bit.
Really?
Just a little.
But it's just great. It makes me feel great that these people want to come to this. It's going to be an awesome event. It really is. These speakers are awesome. Brian and Terry Seach are going to be talking about the dogman phenomenon. Mike Fallman, he's a Jersey boy in the search of red eye. What was that, Steve?
I don't know. I didn't hear him.
I said we just got back from being out with Mike. We did research in Delaware State Forest.
Yeah, he'll be here. Ed Kellerman about the ghost. Jimmy Krug, he's going either UFOs or aliens. Dan Hagman, definitely aliens. Jimmy Krug runs the planetarium in Altoona, PA.
Oh, wow.
And he's a young guy and he's very intelligent. I heard him twice. And I tell you what, he keeps you on the edge of your seat. So it's going to be a good event.
Yeah,
really
I'm looking forward to this year. A lot of good events coming.
Yeah, a lot.
Yep.
I'm speaking
looking forward to the
3.
camp out, too.
Yeah. I'm speaking at 3. My camp out in April, which I invite everybody, not just the Pennsylvania Bigfoot Project, not just from the agents of the unexplained, but everyone's welcome. Leave the drama back on the highway.
That's right. That's right.
And just come socialize, investigate, research, and
Yep.
BS and meet new
Right.
friends.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
And this is what happened last year. 60 different people for this camp out. No, one argument, no drama, nothing. It was all just great camaraderie of
Nice.
everyone getting along, sharing their experiences, sharing what they think they know. None of
Yeah.
us know for sure.
Right. Exactly. True.
And I'm doing it again this April, 20th through
Yeah,
the 23rd at Saltport.
Yep. We're coming.
All right.
We're
All right.
coming. Yep.
Yeah, that's going. It's fun. It is a fun time.
And Salt Fork is beautiful.
And that's where I had my sighting.
Oh, is it
Everybody-
really? Was that your first sighting?
I can take you right down to where it's at, right near our group camp area.
Oh wow!
I'll
had
show
a
you
sighting
there.
there also. Morgan's
Um,
Knob is where I had mine.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
oh yeah. But I went thinking, Mary Fabian even told me you'll have a sighting there. Yeah, right. Everybody and their brother goes there. I just want to
Yeah,
hear the
right.
Ohio how.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
very
right.
first night,
Right.
very first night there, no how. We, Debbie Preggy, Mike Bennett, and myself going down the trail. We go about 90 paces. We stop, listen, check things out, get nuts thrown from the left side at us. This ain't cool. We move up 90 more paces, checking things out, more nuts coming up from the left side. Debbie says, "Oh, I'm getting a little too damn scared for this. I don't want to go no farther." And got a little scope. And I said, "Give me your scope. I'll go up ahead and I'll check it out." And I don't see anything. I'll call you up. Go up. I kneel down. I start adjusting the scope. In the corner of my right eye, I saw a little movement. And I'm holding the scope like this, going like this, and turn my head this way. And there it was, 15
Oh
feet.
wow!
That's not what I said.
I bet. Oh, I can imagine.
But, I'm laughing now, but, it still scares me.
You're not laughing then.
No.
Was it a big guy? Was it male, like a big alpha?
It was, I'm saying it was a juvenile because
Okay.
it was kneeled down. And I think what I saw was it putting his hand down in front of it, leaning in. I think it was
Okay.
counting coup. Counting coup, like the Indians used to do.
Yep.
See how close he can get to me without me noticing? Well, got within
Mhm.
15 feet. I think that's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
I usually notice everything.
Yeah.
Well, I stood up and start running backwards. And let me tell you, this old man can run backwards pretty damn good when he's scared and not fall down. And I don't get scared, but I got scared. And
Yeah.
I'm going backwards. And it was right at dark. So I'm telling him, turn lights as I'm going backwards. And it stood up. And I saw about where it stood up next to that tree. And I start moving a little quicker backwards.
Yep.
Well,
You better believe it.
It turned and went down over the hill in the wood line. I get back to Mike and Debbie. I go, "Did you see it? Did you see it?" Mike goes, "I saw Bigfoot's ass." What? He said, "Yeah, it was running down. I got to see its ass." Oh,
Jeez.
that brought me down. That did. What he said brought me down to reality because I was in panic state.
Oh yeah.
And we got out of there. Mary Fabian was camping there. I told her I was going because Jack Warren invited me to it. And Jack, I don't know if you ever met Jack Warren,
No,
but
I don't think so.
He'll be at this one.
Okay.
Hell of a great guy. And that's why I went. He invited me, and I told Mary I was going. She said, "I'll go too." Yeah, whatever, but I'll see you there. Save me a spot near you. And I did. We got up out of that trail. went straight up to where her truck was at, and she saw how I was acting. I saw one, and I had to be pure white,
Yeah.
and I was like this, shaking
Yeah.
everywhere,
Yep.
and very nervous. And well, we went down the next day with a tape measure, me and a couple other ones, measured up on the tree. It was 7 foot.
Wow.
Wow.
I don't care if they're 4 foot. You see one, it's scary.
Where did I put it? I did have sitting out. Well, I moved things around here, so let me see it here. Nope, that ain't it. I don't know what I did with it, but I had Larry Batson did a drawing of it while I was on their podcast describing it and that, and he sat there and drew
nice.
it. He got it almost perfect. What the hell did I do with it?
Now,
it
Bill,
was here.
why didn't you get a picture, Bill? You didn't get a clear picture?
Don't even start.
That makes me crazy. I'm like, you see one, and the last thing you're thinking about is taking a picture.
Mary talked me into putting it on the page in the group.
Okay.
I did. And the very first response was from a smart-ass young punk kid. About, well, I would have taken a picture. You would have filled your pants and went running home to mommy.
You better believe that. That I never even, I'm sorry. Now, I did film these ones. And you know what? I don't know why. I have no recollection. I don't know what I was thinking. I don't know what made me do it. Because somebody says, why? You literally stood there filming it.
Right,
I did.
Right.
But I don't remember what made me, why I did it.
Because you know something was up.
That, and I knew everybody would think that I was certifiably have lost. Look, telling my family about Bigfoot was hard enough. Telling them this.
You know what? I can't believe my family backs me on this. My wife.
Mind you now.
My wife, she'll tell you straight out, no, I don't believe in Bigfoot. She believes that I saw one.
Yeah.
And the reason she don't believe in Bigfoot is she hasn't saw one.
Gotcha.
She saw a ghost, so she believes in ghosts.
Right. Yeah.
She never saw a UFO, so she don't believe in UFOs.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that way. Got to see it to believe it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And some people have even seen it and still lie to themselves. I did that. Yeah, I did that when I first saw one. I denied it.
I really wanted to see one, but I never want to see one that close ever again. That's no lie.
Said she wanted to take me camping in the woods and it didn't very well.
I never want to see that one that close ever again. I admit it. But I do like to be out there studying them.
Yeah. Yep.
If they let me get close enough to study them, but not 15 feet.
Yeah. Yep. And they're different every state. State to state, their behavior is so different. Their demeanor is different.
Not always.
So far for me, it has been like Ohio. They seemed more, and probably because the campground, there's so many people know that's what it's famous for. Ohio, they seemed more, a lot different than here in New Jersey. They were more like, I'm here, get over it.
Right.
They were more in your face, I think.
Well, my friend, we became friends shortly after my sighting. Joe Kesky. He says I can use his name. He's had a sighting and that. And he, his sighting was he was headed into this one area to go fishing or swimming in this pond area. And this one come bluff charging across the pond at him.
Oh.
Now, where I met him at, we were at a group camp out, a bunch of Bigfooters and that. And just getting there just to camp, socialize, nothing else.
Right.
His last fall. Or 2 falls ago now. They canceled last fall. So we're sitting there, and they asked me if I'd talk about my encounter since it just happened a few weeks before. I gave them the short version, of course. I didn't go in full detail, just enough. And then Joe got up and talked about his. And all I could do is put my head down, and I'm listening, and my heart started coming out of my chest, pounding hard. Thinking, my God, that thing was coming after him. It wanted to attack him. Mine was 15 feet away. It could have got me. It could have killed me. Tears start rolling down my eyes, and I don't cry for shit.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I grew up macho man, Superman. I'm not afraid of nothing. This thing scared me to death.
Yep.
And reliving it there that night and thinking what happened to him and what could have happened to me, I started crying.
Yeah.
I was going through PTSD with it, and I still do a little bit, you know. So it affects people differently.
Yeah.
You know, some of it took Joe 10 years to able to get your grip on it.
Wow.
It didn't take me that long because everyone kept saying, talk about it, it'll help. Talk about it, it'll help. And it does.
It does.
But it still gets to you. It still gets to you. And no matter what. And different ones can say, oh, I can't wait till I see one. Be careful what you wish for.
You got that
prime
right.
example. I'm a prime example.
You got that right.
And like you, prime example. You're welcome in.
Yeah.
What did you welcome in? Demons. So.
Yep. That's what I said. This is definitely will change me, not only as a person, but it has changed me as a researcher.
Mm-hmm.
You know, my approach is going to be a lot different. You know, there won't be none of that talking to them like, I love you. Oh, come follow me. Come here. Come.
No.
What? What? Like that? How dumb can I be? You know?
Yeah.
But
and you're a redhead, not a blonde.
I am a redhead. Yeah. 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 Now, Ohio, I think I've never come across an aggressive one. Not what, well, I'm talking about a real legitimate Bigfoot. I haven't come across an aggressive one.
Let me give you my theory on that and see if you guys agree with me.
Okay.
99% of the ones we hear about are non-aggressive.
Right.
The aggressive ones.
Nobody's here to tell about it.
Most ain't. But the alpha male that's having a bad day, the alpha female kicked his ass out of the cave or wherever they're staying.
Right.
And said, go, get away. I don't want nothing to do with you today. So bad attitude. Or you can have a rogue one with a bad attitude that was kicked out of the clan.
Yeah.
You know, but 99% of them you hear is not aggressive.
Right.
They might bluff charge you.
Yep.
You get you away from maybe their baby or away from their hunt. You know, but come right out and attack you.
Nah.
99% don't.
Right. Right.
And that's my belief on that.
Yeah.
They're more, they want to avoid us, but they want to study us too.
Yeah, exactly. What's that saying? Keep your friends close and your enemies even closer.
Yes.
It benefits them to watch us, observe us, get to know us better almost than we know ourselves.
Right.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
when we go out in those woods, we're going out in their house.
That's right.
We're, so you're in their house. They know what's going on.
That's right. Yeah. That's what I said. We're TV to them. That's how they entertain themselves by watching us. But that's what I try to tell people. Like, just remember when you're out in the woods, that's the home of every creature, every being that lives in those woods. Like, it's kind of like
110%.
when people see a shark and they're like, there was a shark in the ocean. You're kidding me. You know, like,
Yeah.
and I try to remind
I-
people,
I
like,
was
you have
watching-
to be mindful.
I was watching videos on sharks and whales just yesterday. And how close these sharks come up to humans
Yep.
swimming, and they don't even
Yeah.
know it.
And we don't know it.
These drone footage is catching it.
Yep.
This drone footage caught these two big sperm whales doing their mating ritual, not connecting, but
Yeah.
courting
Yeah.
type.
Yeah.
And these dolphins came up, they entertained them, doing jumps and flips in front of them, and the whales start swimming upside down, watching them.
Oh.
And they caught that on drunk. We was lucky enough that someone had a drone out there to watch the wonderful things of nature like
Yeah.
that. Do we think drones can catch Bigfoot doing things? I don't know. The noise
I
from
don't
the
think so.
propellers. I like to think if you keep it up high enough, the humming noise ain't that much.
Yeah.
I don't know. I got them now one day. You got surrounded by it.
Well, that's true, but that was here and it was me. And you can't really make out what they are. You just see big black things moving.
Right.
We had them years ago. I was out in the woods. He didn't know it. I was out there and two were like sneaking in to get close to me, like just to observe me. And I heard movement. And when I came in, I said, what are you doing? He said, oh, I was playing with the drone. I said, yeah, I heard it. And he goes, where were you at? And I said, I was out in the woods. So as we were watching, he goes, look at this. Come here. Now you can't look at it and go, oh, yeah, it was a Bigfoot. But you do see two black objects, bipedal, walking, and they're just sneaking in and getting like up. They'll go in up underneath the tree. And then you'll see them as I'm walking. They're kind of doing a tree to tree type of thing. And one was on one side and one was on the other.
Yep.
But I mean, that was here and they had been here many years. So maybe we just got lucky.
Yeah. They were watching. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yep.
But that's the thing. We just, like you said, we're their TV.
Yeah. Yep. And we just don't know enough about them. And I don't think we ever will, sadly.
Yeah, we will.
You think so?
Hopefully in my lifetime, but it's hard to say.
I know. I know. They're so unpredictable.
But they became so mainstream now. People are accepting
yeah, well,
it.
that's the sad part.
We still got a bunch of idiots out there that belittle us for believing and doubting us from seeing it.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I don't buy into that part of it. If you don't want to believe, don't belittle me.
Exactly.
I know what I saw, and I did have someone start to say something, and I just snapped back at him and said, I don't belittle you for not believing. Don't belittle me for believing.
Exactly. Exactly.
And he just looked at me. I said, I'm telling you how it is.
Yeah.
I know what I saw.
Yeah. That's why it doesn't hurt people. Look, if you don't believe, why are you on the page? Number one.
Yep.
Two, if you don't agree with it, just scroll by. Just keep scrolling. The nasty comments.
That's like on my Agents of the Unexplained and the Pennsylvania Bigfoot Project. Mary says I got the big boot. I don't put up their crap. I don't.
Yeah, exactly.
I put the size 10.5 in there real quick. Out the door to go. And then I send them a message because never mind. I ain't going to use the words.
Oh, I know
but
exactly.
I write it.
Yep. But I know our page. I kept it private. And we've only had to boot a few, but the ones that we booted, it was the same thing. Why are you on this page then?
Yep.
If you're on this page just to have diarrhea of the keyboard, go do it somewhere else. You don't belong here.
Keyboard warriors.
They certainly are. They have a lot to say. A lot.
And nothing to back it.
Right. And it's sad because I wonder how much good video evidence is out there. How much, and these people are just scared. They're afraid of the ridicule.
I know someone that puts up blurry pictures, but I saw the good ones he has too.
Smart.
So, yeah.
Smart.
And who cares? You know, he got the good ones.
Yep.
He knows what he's saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, he'll
That's what I
share the
said.
blurry ones. He shares a
Yeah.
couple good ones, but he'll share the blurry ones, and the people get mad. And they say, well, get the hell off the page.
Yeah. Here's
Plain
one.
simple.
Then get out and go get a picture yourself.
Yep.
That's what I say. If you can do
Right.
better, then get off your couch and go get one.
And I can explain why a lot of these pictures are blurry. If you notice that tree branch with that leaves down coming down toward the front of it, it's focusing on that. That's the closest thing it's
Yep.
focusing on instead of the
Yep.
Bigfoot right here. by the
Exactly. Yep.
So that things around it get blurry, and that's
Yep.
what happened with the Bigfoot. A
Yep.
camera is not a smart item.
No,
And
it's
so,
not. Nope.
you
It
know,
doesn't know exactly in this spot what you're trying to focus on. So it does autofocus
Exactly.
and like you said, it's
Exactly.
whatever's closest. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That, and people have to realize normally they're moving. They're on the move. They don't stand in
Yeah.
vogue for us. They're not posing. They don't say cheese. They're moving. You're shaking.
And you using your camera, you're like this.
Right.
Come on.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. That's what I said.
Yeah,
It's not
I just
easy.
love it. I just love it.
Yep.
But
It makes me laugh.
And those
But you guys-
the first thing we're trying to do is we're going to zoom in on it. We're going to, so now we're playing with the phone
Yeah.
on top
Yeah.
of everything else.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's me. Then I'm playing with buttons.
yeah, like with my sighting. Hold on. Let me get my phone.
Yeah,
Let me get
right.
the camera.
Right. Yeah. Yep. Can you stay right
Yeah.
there for just 1 minute? Yeah, no, that's not happening.
No.
It is a proven fact that when we go out, the second that we don't have the recorder on, we don't
Oh,
have
yeah.
the camera ready, we don't have this, is when something
Yep. It never fails. It
Exactly.
is Murphy's Law. Yep.
Yep.
I can't tell you how many times we've had so much activity and vocals, and he'll try to go live and it stops. And I'll look at, I don't even know he's doing it. And I'll look at him and I'm like, put your phone away. And he's like, well, I was trying. Well, stop it. I have the audio.
That's the thing. Where this one place I go and research, it's an ongoing thing. There's the creek down there, but I thought I was far enough away. Put my recorder down there in the little lean-to, and I go back up on the hill, hung out in my van, took a nap, go back down, grab the recorder, come back up, start listening to the audio. Great sleeping music, so Babbling Brook. Boy, did I screw that up for several
Yeah.
hours of sleeping
Oh,
music.
Guilty as charged. Yep.
Yeah, so
Yep. I've done things like that. And I'm like, what was I thinking? Or I'll put it outside, like when we get back at night.
Right.
If we're really, the only time we're in the campers, either if we have a lot, like the kids with us, or normally we're in a tent. But anyway, just recently we took the camper and not thinking I wanted to leave recorders outside the camper when we went to bed. I put it right where the heater kicks on and off. So I got home listening, and that's all you hear. And I'm like, what was I thinking? I thought it was far enough
Yep.
away. It was not.
nope.
Yeah.
Well,
So
I
I
got
like
that.
10 hours of it.
I got that Zoom H1N1.
That's what I have.
Yeah.
One of them. Anyway.
Yeah. And well, you know how sensitive that is.
Yep. Yep.
I learned.
The only thing I don't
I
like about
learned-
them is the batteries.
Yeah.
Like, I wish they made that. Like, mine eats batteries. Like,
Yes.
so
Mine
I
does
hook like
too.
a battery pack to it, but it's a kind of pain in the butt.
They are. And I figured, oh wow, that's one of the top ones I'm getting.
Yeah. Well, that's why I bought it.
And it, like you said, the battery don't last.
Yeah.
But who in the hell is going to leave $100 recorder out in the woods?
Well, yeah.
But then I can't sleep because I'm nervous about it.
Yeah. I mean, I've only left it out overnight and gone and gotten it in first thing in the morning. But then I have 3 cheap ones. And I'll tell you what, the audio is no different.
Right.
I said I might as well just go buy a bunch of cheapies. Then I don't care if it gets lost or stolen or $20.
Exactly.
And the batteries, it
Exactly.
stays charged forever. So but
Yes.
the H1N1, they are, I mean, it's got great audio, but the
Yep.
battery situation is bad.
Oh, they suck. They
They
suck.
do.
Yeah. That's the only bad thing about them.
Yeah.
But I still like you can plug external mics on
Yeah.
that too. That make
Right,
it more
yeah.
directional.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that helps.
Exactly. It's got its pluses, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyhow, we've been at it for a little over an hour now.
All right,
And-
there,
Yeah.
Bill.
And honestly, this has been great. Very interesting.
Good. I
Very
just hope
interesting.
that everybody takes and heeds my warnings. And
me too.
if anybody needs help, just reach out.
Yes, most definitely. Thank you for coming
You're
on
very
in
welcome.
here,
Thank you
Shelly.
for having me
Yeah.
on.
Hey. And thank you, Steve.
Good night, Bill.
Good night, you guys. And let me do my outro if I ever find it. There it is.
All right. Thank
And,
you, Bill.
Thank you. And we'll talk again soon.
Will do. Have a good night.
You too, honey.
Bye-bye.
This has been an Agents of the Unexplained original podcast. Like us on Facebook, subscribe and view on YouTube, and please visit our store link in the bio. Thank you for listening, and remember that paranormal is the new normal.